A midnight encounter. After hours, probably past midnight. Van quietly got up, looked around, then lay back down, tossing and turning for a long time. Maybe the room was too bright, making it hard for her to sleep. Thinking so, Van reached out to turn off the 2 night lamps as well as the bedside light, then curled up under the blanket. But as soon as the lights went out, the neighbor's dog in the backyard began to growl softly. Then its front paws scratched incessantly at the wall, producing a grating sound that sent chills down Van's spine, making her teeth chatter with fear. She couldn't understand why, but she felt an eerie dread creeping over her. The dog's barking was so loud in the quiet night. Why didn't anyone else in the house hear it? Van waited anxiously but heard nothing from the others, realizing she was the only one awake, wrapped tightly in her blanket, eyes shut, lips trembling. When the dog finally fell silent, an ominous rumble echoed from behind the house. It sounded exactly like a bus engine, slowly approaching, growing louder and louder until it seemed to pass right by her window. But her house was in the middle of an open field. There was no road behind her for any vehicle. A cold shiver ran through Van as she pulled the blanket tighter, imagining a ghostly bus drifting by her house, circling back again and again. Terrified, she jumped up, turned on the light, and ran out to the kitchen, wanting to sleep with her niece to feel safer. But it was too late at night to wake her. By morning, he woke up at 7 as usual, intending to go downstairs for coffee and newspapers. When he opened the door, he was stunned to find Van curled up on the hallway floor, looking exhausted, with red, swollen eyes. Not wanting to wake her, he tiptoed downstairs. Moments later, Van woke up, leaned against the wall, and gazed blankly at the window, her body trembling from the cold. She stood up slowly, took the blanket, and went down to the kitchen, brewing a pot of coffee while waiting for Hugh. When he finally emerged from the bathroom, she quietly pleaded, "Brother, can you go with me to the bus stop tonight? You don't have to stay long, just watch the bus with me, to see if he shows up again. If he does, please get on the bus with me. I can't do it alone." Hugh felt a pang of sympathy, seeing his sister so distressed, but he still found it hard to believe in ghosts. He hesitated, then finally agreed. "All right, tonight I'll go with you. But don't say anything to my wife. If she finds out, she'll be scared to death." Van nodded, though she felt bitter, knowing her sister-in-law thought she was crazy. That night, Hugh, his wife, their daughter Mylin, and Van all went to the bus stop. The bus slowly approached, its headlights piercing through the mist. Van's heart pounded, and she silently prayed, "Mister, though, if you still care for me, please don't haunt me. I promise to make offerings for your soul." The bus stopped, and the door hissed open. The driver turned his head, revealing an ordinary Canadian man in uniform, holding a transfer ticket. Van let out a sigh of relief, her legs weak with relief. "See? Just your imagination," Hugh said, patting her shoulder. "Now go to work. I'll see you in the morning." Van climbed onto the bus, taking a seat at the back, still nervously glancing at the driver. She was certain now that she had been mistaken. The haunting was over. Or so she hoped. The next morning, the house was cold and silent. The sunlight streamed through the window, casting eerie shadows on the wall. Van woke up, feeling groggy and disoriented. She went to the bathroom, splashed water on her face, and looked up at the mirror. Suddenly, the scent of cigarette smoke wafted through the air, faint but distinct. Startled, she turned around. No one was there. She looked back at the mirror. And there he was. His face pale, waxy, eyes hollow, staring at her from the reflection. His lips curled into a faint, chilling smile as a puff of smoke drifted from the cigarette hanging between his lips. The mirror cracked, and Van screamed, stumbling backward, knocking over the bathroom counter. She ran out of the house, barefoot, tears streaming down her face, the haunting image of his face forever etched in her memory. The ghost of Mr. Though had never left.